You know what sucks big time is waking up after a reasonable night's sleep and still feeling exhausted. It's one of the worst ways to start the day. In my talk today, I'm going to share some ideas that you might not have considered before. This is not a replacement for any medical support that you might need. No, this is something else. My name is Gillian Windsor, and I'm so glad you're here. Over the years, I've experienced that myself, and I've witnessed it in my clients. It's a subtle reverberation that quietly runs through the lives of millions of women. And it's hardly ever named. And it goes something like this: I've just got to keep it all together. I've got to keep the family together. I've got to keep the relationship together. I've got to keep the business together. Or there's any number of things that we think that we have to keep together and keep doing and keep on going. What are you recognizing there? Sound familiar? Put a thumbs up in the chat if this is something that you recognize for yourself too. I want to take this a step further. We'll even admire women we know who appear to be holding it all together. We'll call them capable, reliable, strong. They're the ones everyone counts on. So we compare ourselves. There's that make wrong. We compare ourselves to those standards and double down, even becoming masterful at it. We'll anticipate what everyone else needs before they even ask. You recognize that one? We quietly absorb the emotional weather in the room or in the relationship or within the family, so no one else has to. We'll keep everyone's emotions tended to and managed, while all the time stuffing our own. And we keep going. And to help us along the way, we'll reach for better boundaries, more self-care, another time management strategy. And while all those are great things, what's happening is that we'll have a sense of making us wrong, making ourselves wrong because we'll feel like we're failing. And so the cycle continues. And that rhythm becomes so familiar, it actually can start to put us into a trance that we're hardly even aware of. We become so good at just dealing with it all that we become invisible to those around us. And this is the bit that stings. We become invisible to ourselves too. Until one day, we don't. One day, we're so damn exhausted that it's like our bones are screaming. And no amount of sleep or holiday time away fixes it. Maybe you've caught the whispers of this. And maybe it sounds something along the lines of something's got to give here. I can't keep on like this. And so you belly up to the bar because you see this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you've become, my darling. There's another deeper layer that actually reinforces all of this. And it's the subtle way we as women are praised for becoming less available to our own needs. It hides in the words like selfless. People will say it with admiration. She's so selfless. She's always there for everyone. Every time I hear somebody say that about a woman, something inside me quietly flinches. Not because generosity is wrong, that's not what I'm saying, or loving is wrong. No, generosity is beautiful. Loving is beautiful. Caring is beautiful when we're doing that from our own full cup. What I'm talking about are how those words are used to celebrate a person. Selfless, giving, devoted, the rock, and so on. Here's what's really interesting. Most of these words describe what everyone else receives. Just sit with that for a moment. She's so giving. Oh, who's she giving to? To me, to us, to them? She's so loving. Who's she loving towards? Me, to you, to them? Very few of these words describe what the woman herself experiences. I want you to sit with this for a little bit. Maybe this is the way people describe you. And absolutely, I'm not saying it's wrong. Absolutely not. I make that really clear. What I want, though, is that you take a look inside and pay attention to what it might be costing you. Because here's what's happening. We're celebrating her adaptation, and we rarely consider what it's cost you or whoever we're talking about. Women don't wake up one morning and decide to disregard themselves or put themselves to the side. No, that's not how this works. It's an adaptation that is encouraged much earlier in life. It's where two ideas can become one. That putting others first is an act and expression of love or loyalty. It can also be an act of survival. Imagine the child who learned to keep the peace within the family. The daughter who doesn't add to the burden of an overwhelmed mother or an overwhelmed family. The partner who absorbs the tension within the relationship. The mother who always goes last, gives to everybody else first. All these and other adaptations, they most certainly deserve compassion because they are ways that we try and do our best to belong, to be safe, to be considered. They also helped us survive in those early days. But you see, what helps us to survive is not what allows us to live today. Which brings me to an even deeper layer. Some of the most powerful distortions in our lives have been taught through virtues. Virtues such as obligation. You know, that commitment that you made, and you're so unwilling to um, to change the appointment or to change the schedule in any way, because that obligation is considered as caring. Well, kind of is. We'll feel guilty over something because that is considered an expression of loyalty. But who is the loyalty towards? Do we even know? That the virtue of being a good girl and being good is belonging. Keeping the peace at your expense is an expression of love. Making yourself smaller is being polite and considerate. Do you see how all these are sort of woven into the fabric of our cultures as ways of being virtues? We don't even question it. And in that cloak of virtue, they are rarely questioned. And what happens even more is that we'll mistake them with who we are. We will identify with them and say, this is who I am. And it's not. You're much greater than that. You're much more than that. And that's why one day the cracks begin to appear. The cracks might appear in your health, certainly in your well-being. Maybe the cracks appear in your marriage, maybe in your work, or maybe you just simply wake up one morning and realize, I can't keep fucking going on like this anymore. I am so done with it all. We'll reach for handy labels for it. It's burnout, midlife crisis. I'm here to say it's not. It's actually far more beautiful and potent than that. It's where the light of your truth, dear heart, is breaking through the lies and the illusions that have held you in a system of other people's opinions, ideas, and judgments for far too long. And the price has become too high. So the question isn't, how do I get better at holding everything together? The question is, what have I been holding together that doesn't belong to me anymore or never did? This takes compassion to look at. It takes a self-love and a self-care approach to really allow yourself to hear the answer, because the answer is in there. And when you're ready to ask an even deeper question, what would become possible when I'm available to myself again. Dear one, you're not the problem. You've never been the problem. Your truth has always been present and whispering to you. And then it got louder and louder. And that's when the cracks started to appear. That's when the exhaustion started to really have its way. That exhaustion was never asking you to become stronger. It was asking you to come home to yourself first. And again, dear heart, that is worth listening to.